Hi guys, thanks so much for coming back for more Whole Wellness with Ann. I hope you guys are having a great week. I really appreciate you tuning in because I know that everybody's time is precious and you could be probably doing a million different things with your time right now. So thank you. A couple weeks ago, I posted on my social media, my personal account, this story that's very personal. And as a young person, I probably would have been embarrassed by it, but it was positive and impactful for my life. And I wanted to share that with the world. And many people probably would read that story or did read that story and go, I can't believe she shared that with the public. I can't believe she just openly put herself out there like that. But here's what we're going to talk about today: shame and embarrassment. And if there's anything that I've learned through therapy is that when you have no shame and you have no embarrassment, you have nothing to hide and nothing to be afraid of. And that is the one thing about therapy above and beyond anything else. Well, probably right up there as one of the top 10 things that I learned from therapy is to not carry the shame anymore and not carry the embarrassment. And to basically put myself out there for the world because I have nothing to be ashamed of. If someone were to judge me on anything, I welcome that. I welcome the opportunity to be judged because then in the face of judgment, I can listen and I can look at the person judging me, listen to their words and decide for myself if what they're saying is true or not. And if it's not true, it doesn't apply to me. I don't have to listen to it and they're entitled to their opinion. And the same is true for you. So here's my quote that I came up with. I'm sharing this with you guys because it is so true. This is something that I came up with through the process of telling that story I told, because I realized through telling that really personal story that could have come with a lot of embarrassment that I don't have it anymore. It's just irrelevant to me these days. And hopefully you're getting to that same place, because when you have no fear of judgment, there's no shame, there's no embarrassment. You are who you are. You stay true to you. You don't have to worry about what anybody else is saying. And that's so true. That's one of the biggest things I want to share with you as far as takeaways from therapy. It's taken me a long time. Now, like I've said before, I've been graduated from therapy for about a year now. I guess in November, it'll be a year. And I am still learning and growing, even though I'm not actively in therapy. So even though I went to therapy for about a year and a half, I'm still taking everything that I was taught and everything I learned and applying it in the real world. So it's not like once you get therapy, you're done. Like, it's an ongoing process, an ever-changing process. And it's like a metamorphosis. You're changing from the grasshopper into the butterfly at every different phase or stage of your life. In any case, here's the quote that I came up with. And it's not really a quote, I guess you can say it's a quote, but it's a really powerful lesson that I learned that's shrunk down into just one little paragraph. And I'm going to share that with you guys today. And this is my personal opinion, but I also think it's true from what I've seen. You guys tell me what you think. And this is what it is. The mentally, emotionally, and spiritually healthiest individuals that walk amongst us, those who perpetually exist in a world of inner peace, are those who've completely and utterly opened themselves up to the rest of the world, made themselves wholly vulnerable, and yet these people remain unafraid, feeling uninhibited, because he or she fears no judgment from others. These individuals know who they are and know what they're about. Theirs is a life without fear and without anxiety, for there is no intimidation that can touch them. That's my quote. That's my lesson, my one of the best takeaways from therapy that I could ever share with you guys. And it's because when you're raised in an unhealthy or toxic family or a narcissistic family or an abusive or manipulative, controlling family system, you are raised basically to second guess yourself at every corner about everything, about what you look like, about your talents and your gifts, about how you do your chores, about who your friends are, about everything in your life. And as you're growing up, you develop into this person in a state of constant comparison and guesswork. And you're comparing yourself to what you were raised to believe you should be, which is still a big fat question mark. I'm sure you were probably told what the right thing was to be and who the right person was for you to be and what the right thing was to believe about yourself. But the truth of the matter is, don't you know people that are different? Well, if you're so right, does that mean all the other people you know are wrong? Individuality is what makes the world go round, right? We're 6 billion different people existing in the world with different cultures, different religions, different politics, different personal beliefs, different moral compasses, different styles, different fashions, different abilities, different handicaps, different limitations, different judgments. I mean, we're all individuals and we need to get along. We need to function in the world. I don't think that you'll ever be able to be who you truly are until you realize that shame and embarrassment are really just nonsense and a complete waste of your time and a complete waste of my time. Do not be embarrassed about any experience that you've had or any lesson that you have learned that has made you a better person and who you are today. The whole point is no one exists in this world without having screwed up at some point in time in their life or made a bad decision. The more important takeaway is that mistakes teach you. Mistakes are for learning. Bad decisions are for learning and for growing. And so how are we supposed to learn and grow without the mistakes and the bad decisions? For every person, the level of embarrassment and shame they might feel in any given situation varies greatly. So it depends on who you are and it depends on your experience and what level you might feel shame or embarrassment about any given situation. Take, for instance, and I'm going to use this, okay, I hope that you the males out there are listening to this with an open mind and that the women are actually hearing what I have to say. There has yet been an invention. With all the inventions in this world, there is yet an invention that actually gives a woman who is menstruating security that there's not going to be any sort of accident. There is still no invention out there that provides 100% guarantee of protection when she's menstruating. And what woman out there has not had a bleed through accident? I apologize if you're a man and you're being grossed out right now. It's a reality. It's a biological fact that every single woman who has not had a medical procedure or an illness or a condition to prevent it from happening, biologically, every female in the world menstruates. And every single woman who has menstruated has had an accident, a bleed through accident in a public place, completely ruined her clothes, been completely embarrassed and humiliated by the accident, and went home just with a nightmare story of what happened. But let's look at the logic and the rational side of things. I'm a woman. I menstruate. We're talking about a biological fact. Women menstruate. That's a fact. And no one's come up with an invention. As far as I know, I've looked into many different products and no one's come up with an invention yet in the 21st century, which just astounds me, that actually 100% guarantees and secures a woman's ability to stay clean and fresh and protected throughout whatever she's doing. And that's just horrible. That's just horrible that nobody's come up with an invention. Maybe there's my calling, or maybe there's your calling. Okay, if you're a man and you're tuned in still and you're still watching this video, thanks. Props to you, because this is a fact. Women have to deal with this. And when we're talking about shame and embarrassment, this is something that every menstruating woman has dealt with. I don't know one woman who has not had a bleed through accident in her life. And of course, it always happens in a public place. Why do we allow ourselves to be embarrassed by this? It's a biological fact that this happens. Let's just talk about it for a minute. The shame and embarrassment that happens when you bleed through in a public place. And yet you're a woman. You've done what you could. You've purchased the products that are available to you. It's not like you chose to bleed through. This is a part of your biology. You can't control it when you sneeze or you cough or you stand up wrong or you bend over wrong or you sit in your chair wrong. I mean, there's things that happen that you cannot control and you cannot prepare for. Or more accurately, you prepare as best as you can and it still happens. And yet every single time we're embarrassed by it. And we look at each other and we go, oh no, she bled through, she did. Stop it, stop it. Stop being embarrassed, first of all, and stop whispering and pointing, second of all. There is no shame and there's no embarrassment in a natural, biological function of a woman's body. So you bled through. You know, the biggest loss I would say there, or the biggest hit would be you lost your pants or your shoes or whatever happened, your shirt, your car seat needs to be cleaned or whatever the case might be. If it can't be cleaned and you got to throw it out, or it's your favorite pair of pants or your favorite skirt, suit, you know, that's the biggest loss and that's the biggest bummer of the whole situation. Everything else is just, it's another day. I spilled coffee down the front of myself. That's all it is. It's a biological function of a woman's body. How many hundreds of years have women walked around this planet and dealt with this issue? I would venture to say that only in the current day are women actually embarrassed about this. Forget the embarrassment. So you bled through, just go change yourself. And don't stress yourself about it. Don't even worry about it. Don't spend any more than 2 seconds worrying about it or thinking about it. And then start your day new. That's my 2 cents on shame and embarrassment. I happen to be a woman and have personal experience with all kinds of shame and embarrassing moments, but no longer. Shame and embarrassment when you're a child and you're growing up are something that you can work through, but it's given to you by your parents or whoever raised you. It's taught to you. Now, as a young adult and an adult, it's within your control to not be shamed and not be embarrassed. And the best way and most ideal way to not get caught up in shame and embarrassment is to not keep secrets from the world, to be who you are, be your true self and live your true life. Heal what you need to heal, work on what you need to work on, and forget the rest. Trust yourself, believe in yourself, and be who you are. Be authentically you. Find out who you are and do it on purpose, without any shame, without any embarrassment. Trust yourself. Trust your instincts. Be rational, be logical, be realistic, and let go of the embarrassment. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I certainly don't feel embarrassed for you, no matter what your situation is or what your experience was. I'm not embarrassed of you. I'm not embarrassed for you, and you shouldn't be embarrassed for yourself, no matter what the situation is. I'm not passing judgment on you, and that's how it works. I'm not passing judgment on you. You're not passing judgment on me. We're going through life being respectful of each other. Thanks so much for tuning in to another video in Whole Wellness with Ann. I hope you guys have an awesome day. Take care of you.